Good morning, or depending on when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name is Ross, and as always told, I had a voice radio. So today, we're going to be looking at a new Donphan card. That, ladies and gentlemen, means that I am a very, very happy boy, because I love me some Donphan, and it's not been that long since we had the last Donphan card. OHKOed over in Japan gave us a new Donphan, which was therefore released in Celestial Storm. Sun and Moon 7 is Celestial Storm. This new Donphan looks like it's coming in Sun and Moon 8 in Japan, which means it will be coming out in Sun and Moon 8 Lost Thunder over here. That means Donphan 2 sets in a row. That, ladies and gentlemen, makes me very, very happy indeed. Now, he is a fighting Pokemon. We like fighting Pokemon at the moment. We'll have Diancie Prism Star, so we can do a little bit of the extra 20 damage, which is very nice indeed. And you're still hitting weakness against something like Zoroark. And of course, it means that things like Lycanroc can be used very easily as partners for it. So being fighting type is very, very nice indeed. Then, of course, you got a weakness to grass, and honestly, weakness to grass at the moment, not too bad. Maybe Golisopod sees a bit of play. Maybe Tapu Bulu finally becomes that powerhouse deck many of us are hoping, myself included. Other than that, really not a bad weakness to have. Retreat cost of 3 is very high, and we don't have Floatstone anymore, and that sucks, but there really isn't very much we can do about that anymore. And 130 HP is great. It means something like a Zoroark GX or a Silvally won't be able to get a one-hit KO. 130, much better than 120. Of course, the great thing about Donphan here, nobody is going to be getting a one-hit KO on Donphan. Now, according to Tunu1223 over on Twitter, the ability is called Sturdy. Now, he never actually said what this ability called Sturdy actually does. The great news is, we don't need to be told. We've seen Pokemon with Sturdy before, including this Crustle. And what this Crustle does with the ability Sturdy, if it has full HP and would be knocked out by damage from an attack, this Pokemon is not knocked out and its remaining HP becomes 10 instead. And if we have a little look at Donphan there, it looks very, very much like this is in fact the ability. So, of course, you can just 2-hit KO it, but if you 2-hit KO, you open up to healing. That's pretty gosh darn nice. If they hit you for, say, 30, and then you drop a potion or a better healing card, then all of a sudden, you have got full HP again, they're not KOing you. This is basically Focus Sash, except it's not a tool, which is awesome. Which means your opponent can't play a Field Blower to get rid of it. And remember, it's an ability in a Sun and Moon on format. So Garboda's rotated, and Alolan Muck won't get rid of it, because Alolan Muck only blocks abilities from basic Pokemon. And Glaceon won't get rid of it, because Glaceon only blocks abilities from EXs and GXs. So actually, nobody's getting rid of this here. This ability isn't going away. This ability, okay, slacking. I'll give you slacking. But other than slacking, this ability just plain cannot be turned off at the moment. That is wonderful. So it means that your opponent cannot one-hit KO you, and I mean, you could use this to stall. You could use this with Max Potion as a stall. Don't bother putting any energy on. Pop Donphan up while you are wasting a little bit of time, and then your opponent hits your Max Potion. They cannot one-hit KO you. You will definitely get a turn to Max Potion. Or maybe you combine this with something like Ace Roller and Pal Pad. You can legitimately have an un-KOable Donphan. As long as you can Max Potion and Ace Roller every turn, your opponent's not taking a prize. I love the idea of having a deck here where you basically just say to your opponent, you aren't KOing Donphan. There is no way you're KOing him. He is un-KOable. I'm going to run you out of cards. You could play this as a little bit of a meme disruption deck in the same way we've been playing stuff like Wailord, which is amazing. However, I don't necessarily know that's the best use for it, but I'm saying that since it can't be one-hit KO'd, and the ability can't be turned off, he kind of becomes invincible. Now, there is an exception to this. The exception is essentially burn or poison. Anybody that gets you close enough to be KO'd while inflicting burn or poison, you'll go down to 10 HP and then you will be KO'd by poison or burn. So when I say Donphan cannot be KO'd, I mean cannot be KO'd unless you can do 120 or more damage with poison or 110 or more damage while inflicting burn. And then, of course, we bring in a couple of amazing cards here, Hustle, Bout, and Last Chance Potion. Now, I did videos about both of these when they were released, and my conclusion was basically, yeah, if you had a Focus Sash and it wasn't knocked off, these cards would be amazing, but your opponent can play Field Blower, and other than that, when are you ever going to get to use them? Hustle Bout, if you've got 30 HP or less remaining, you do an extra 60 damage. Last Chance Potion, you heal 120. Well, this uses them. And in fact, all that talk I said about Max Potion, well, Max Potion makes you discard your energy. Last Chance Potion doesn't. This is a phenomenal card to play with Last Chance Potion and Max Potion and Ace Roller. This Donphan cannot be KO'd. So either you just take advantage of that, use Last Chance Potion to always have full HP, and let me say this super clearly, Last Chance Potion will make sure you've always got full HP, so you can never be one-hit KO'd, at least until you've used all four of them, or you use it with Last Chance Potion, Max Potion, Ace Roller, and just basically say to your opponent, you're never KOing me. Although do remember that with Ace Roller, you'll eventually have to put a Fampi down, so your opponent can Guzma and KO that Fampi. Now, as for the attack, I do have a translation. It is from a very lovely chap over on Twitter. It's from Denman2991 on Twitter, who has used Google Translate, which I've said before is possible to do, and evidently it does 70 damage this turn, and then it does 140 damage next turn. And then in the grand old tradition of Pokemon like Metagross, for instance, it will essentially keep doing 140 damage every single turn after the first one, in the same way Meteor Mash on Metagross does 60, and then does 120 every other turn. It never gets up to 210, 280, etc. It's just 70 the first time, and then 140, 140, 140, 140, in the same way that Metagross is 60 the first time, and then 120, 120, 120, 120, 120. Ordinarily speaking, this would not be a great attack, because yes, you can use double colorless energy, but free energy 70 and then doing 140 turn after turn, I'm not buying it. Metagross works because it's a single energy. But when you bring in Last Chance Potion, which I still think should be called Desperation Potion, no, that's not the last time I'm going to say that, this becomes a much better attack. Because 140 a turn is great. Add in a Choice Band, that's 170, bye-bye Tapu Lele. Add in a Choice Band and a Diancie Prism Star, that's 190 a turn. And then there's all kinds of stuff like Boswell, like Rayquaza that are going down in one hit. And the thing is, generally speaking, getting the energy on here would be too awkward and I wouldn't be a fan. But you've got Last Chance Potion. And Last Chance Potion is about the only card that will work here. Max Potion discards the energy, you never get it going. But essentially with Donphan here, you pop it in the active with a Fighting Double Colorless, you do 70 damage. Even 70 damage of a Choice Band Diancie Prism Star will KO a Zoroark, so it's still not terrible, it's just not particularly great. But then your opponent hits you, but you don't get KO'd. And then either you play something like a potion or a little healing card, or you play Last Chance Potion. Do remember that if your opponent hits you for like 70, you're going to be in this awkward situation where potion doesn't work, but Last Chance Potion doesn't work. There are some awkward numbers in between. But essentially you can heal, do 140. Heal, do 140. Heal, do 140. Except you're not actually doing 140, you should be doing about 190 every turn. And worth pointing out at this stage that most non-GXs have 160 HP or less, think Solgaleo Prism Star, so this attack with a Diancie Prism Star will KO them as well. 160 before you add a Choice Band is pretty much the key number at the moment, and with Diancie Prism Star, that's what you're hitting. It's wonderful, ladies and gentlemen. It is absolutely wonderful. The attack is a little bit awkward. I get that. But because you can't be one-hit KO'd, you can either heal or, best case scenario, last chance potion, and you're great. Yes, there's going to be an annoying spot where your opponent can hit you for so much damage you can't heal normally, but not enough damage that you can use last chance potion. And in that situation, it's going to get kind of annoying. But outside of that, this is absolutely wonderful. Or just keep healing every turn because your opponent cannot one-hit KO you, or turn your ability off, and you can waste so much time with this. Maybe it's my inherent love of Donphan, but I'm giving it 4 Wossies. I mean, look, Donphan, he's in the logo for the channel, right? So clearly I'm not going to give it a low score. Clearly I'm going to be slightly optimistic. But I really do think the attack is fine. But once you add in this ability could break this card wide open. This ability could be the thing that makes this Donphan genuinely playable, and that makes me genuinely delighted, because you can heal every turn while one-hit KOing GXs, and oh yeah, your opponent's best course of action is try and manipulate their side of the board to do an awkward amount of damage. Sounds good to me. But whether it sounds good to you or not, I would like to hear from you in the comment section. So go nuts, but do remember the rule, ladies and gentlemen. Be nice. Make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at the Wossie, and Twitch for some live action at twitch.tv/PTCGRadio. If you want to support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all of that, head on over to patreon.com/PTCGRadio, where you can do so, and do check out Wossie Plays for some more Wossie action. But by far the most important thing, as always, is to look after yourselves until next time. Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.